Have you ever wondered what it actually looks like to build multiple real estate businesses that all work together? The first time I saw tonight's guest's email signature, I thought, heck yeah, I want to know more about that. At the top, she has her umbrella company, and under that umbrella company, she has her operating companies, and they all work synergistically together to serve investors, homeowners, and tenants across Florida's Suncoast market. Tonight, we are going to pull back the curtain on exactly how all of that works. Hi, everyone. I'm Margot Drake, founder of Club RVNU, where we bring women together to learn how to know and grow our net worth, AKA build wealth through smart investments. And tonight, you are going to hear from one of my favorite people, Pamela Parrino, a broker, investor, and CEO in Florida's Suncoast market. She has built an entire real estate ecosystem, and she's going to walk us through how it got started, how all the businesses work together, and what opportunities investors should be paying attention to right now. Good evening, Pamela.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
This is a good excuse to catch up with one of my favorite people.
That's right. That's right. We get to have 30 minutes of talking about whatever we want.
That's right. Hopefully we don't go too off course. It could get crazy.
Yes.
Okay. So let's, for all the people that don't know you yet,
Sure.
Give a quick intro about yourself, who you are, and what area in Florida you serve.
Sure. My name is Pamela Parrino. I'm a broker owner of Suncoast Cooperative, building wealth through real estate, very similar to Club RVNU. And I'm going to go to my assistant for some help on that. Based on what Margot was saying about the email signature. So that's logo for that one and stuff.
I love it. Pamela loves her fur babies.
I do love my fur babies. And then underneath that, we had to look for this swag. I'm like, what is one piece of swag that we have every single one of our businesses on? And this was the only thing that we came up with and stuff. So under that, we've got our Suncoast Leasing and Management.
Got it. Okay. So are those magic, what are they?
No, they're little dog t-shirts.
Oh my God, they're all dog t-shirts.
That's what we put on them with all Nugget shirt. Nugget has a shirt in every one of the businesses.
Does Nugget get a paycheck?
Sorry?
Is Nugget on payroll?
Shh, Margot.
Okay, but those are tax deductible because they are marketing. So that
100%. I'll slap my logo on anything. See? Jewelry, this and stuff. So then we have Suncoast Buying and Selling, which is a little hard to read. There we go.
There we go. Okay, So that's your real estate team.
That's right. And we run our real estate team with KW under KW. But our leasing and management is its own brokerage and separate. And that's how Florida has to be done. And then our last major is Suncoast Cleaning and Handy Services. That goes along with it as well.
And I can imagine how everything works together. And as we continue to talk tonight, people will get a picture of what that looks like. So I also, before we dive in too deep, want to say happy early birthday, Pamela.
Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to turn 21 with 25 years of practice beyond my belt.
I love that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, happy birthday. Pamela's birthday is tomorrow, March 19th. Happy birthday to you. Birthday queen. Okay, so I've never had anyone introduce their companies with dog clothes before. So that is a
piece of swag that we have every company on and stuff. So that shows you where our priorities are right away.
Steve's taking notes. He is for sure taking notes. And Wesley's going to have all new clothes very soon.
All new clothes. Mm-hmm.
Suncoast Cooperative, your 3 operating companies under that, and tell everyone again exactly who you serve.
So we serve basically anyone because we do all the things that we do. However, our perfect or ideal client is someone who needs all services, helping in purchasing the investment, then and managing it while they have it, selling it, advising them with a 1031 exchange. It needs to be cleaned and turned over. All the handyman work has to be done. If they own it long enough, maybe we need to do upgrades and things like that. So all within its own sort of ecosystem ourselves here with people that they know and trust, who communicate. We pride ourselves in our communication with our owners, especially.
So everything works synergistically together. I would imagine all entities kind of feed into the other entities. Would you do cleaning services for someone that you're not leasing for?
Probably not.
Okay, so you're just taking care of your own clients.
Yeah. We get enough business just amongst ourselves and stuff like that. We do it for like some of our owners actually live local and they don't want to manage their own properties and stuff. So, but we'll send our cleaners to their personal homes to clean their homes because they're affiliated. They're doing business with us and stuff like that. They're part of the family. So
go back. How did you get started? How did you get started in real estate investing?
I was lucky enough to be exposed to it at a very young age. My grandfather and father, who were the teachers of money to me when I was younger, did not believe in owing people money. So they didn't like paying rent or anything. So they just bought a lot of real estate. And if you can't tell yet from my voice, I'm originally from New York City. So if you haven't heard
about it, up every now and then.
It's a city that's up in the Northeast and everything like that. And real estate up there, especially that you buy like in the 1970s and stuff and 1960s even or whatever, is worth a lot more than what you paid for it back then. So I was exposed to it at a very young age that was, and they weren't doing it because they thought it was going to pay off in the end. They were doing it because they didn't want to ever have to owe anybody anything.
Right.
Their stubborn Italian was coming out in there right there and stuff. Not because they thought that it was the investing and good thing to do and everything like that.
And so you kind of walked in and you started doing the math. Am I remembering that correctly? And did you then decide to go to school for that, or like how did this?
I already went to school and had a degree in mathematics to begin with, so I was already good at that sort of stuff and analyzing it. And then we were working with the numbers and doing deals and things, and I was finding the deals and everything. And meanwhile, I was working in nonprofit. So and be well paid for New York City for nonprofit and everything. And about 15 years ago, I decided that I wanted to move to Florida. And I kind of looked at what I was making passively in real estate, really passively, and how much I was making actually working probably 60 hours a week. Because if you've ever worked nonprofit, that you work a lot and stuff. And they were about the same. And one I worked and one I didn't. And I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this and I can do this better and I can do this for other people and everything. So I'm going for it. Came right down, got my real estate license, spent my 2 years learning what I needed to learn, got my broker's license right away, and then opened up the leasing and management company.
Wow. In 2 years?
Yeah, that's legit. Well, that's the minimum requirements. You have to be.
You moved. So part of the reason for doing this interview is so I could just understand your story better. So you moved from New York to Florida to have a real estate team.
Kind of. Yeah, I got there eventually and stuff like that, but it happened pretty quickly once I got there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we already had properties in Florida that we owned that were being leased out and things like that. So we were already invested in Florida at that point. So
got it. Oh, we have your visuals up now.
There you go. All my logos.
Not on a dog right there.
They're cuter on the
Yeah.
dog.
I'm sure that Wesley is going to end up with little jackets, which
Mm-hmm.
you
Does
need them in Michigan.
make them in dog sizes?
You need them in Florida. All right. So, how old were you when all this was going on? You're 21 now, so
Right. No. So yeah, like I started getting involved at a very young age and started understanding the concept. Like while I was in college. So for the past 25 years, really, I've been involved with it and everything. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am blown away by how fast you
yeah.
got your broker's license and opened the leasing company, but you already had properties to handle.
I did already have properties. And one of the biggest things was that I got hired quick. I bought out another team that was kind of going out of business too. So that added a flux of people. Mm-hmm. Of course, they had the option to leave if they wanted to, but they chose to stay. Well, I'm coming from a investor standpoint. Like I'm treating your property like it was mine. Like this is how you're going to make the most money as the owner and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I have those conversations with my owner to the detriment of our company that like, actually we make more money if your tenant leaves and we get a new tenant for you and stuff. But your tenant's asking for $25 less in rent and stuff, which, you know, if you do that, that's $300 a year. If they actually leave over this $25, you're going to have a vacancy. You're going to have this, you're going to have to pay these fees. You know, mathematically, it makes more sense for that and stuff. And yet, so, you know, I built rapport real fast because they saw that I was coming from the standpoint of the investor and everything. Mm-hmm. And I believe in that. And our team believes in that, and that integrity of like, we're going to tell you the truth, even if it's ugly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that builds trust really fast. Mm-hmm. So you've got your broker's license, you've got your real estate team, you have your property management. Let's talk about your first deal. What did you buy yourself? You're down there. Yeah. What was your first solo deal?
So we 1031'd a big property that a bunch of us owned, and it split up, and then everybody had their own money to do what they wanted. So some took the cash, some this. So I did 1031, and I bought some residential properties in this area. That made so much sense to me. It was more properties in my portfolio, more renters I'm bringing to the area, zero property management fees in theory because my company can do it and everything. Mm-hmm. So it was a very much no-brainer to it and stuff. I even have some family members who decided to do that as well and take me up on my very generous offers.
So, they bought down there too. So then you're managing their things. Mm-hmm. So, those were all single family homes?
No, they're all privately owned, but they're a combination of single family, townhomes, villas, condos. It's very different down here. One of the great things about investing here in Florida, and specifically like the Suncoast, is that you can furnish a property and rent it. And there's a seasonality to it. So you get more during certain times of the years than others, or you can keep it unfurnished and rent it long-term and everything so that it can flux. And just like the market fluxes, there's times when you want to furnish it and go that route. And then there's also times when you want to unfurnish it and have someone else carry the cost for you and stuff. So it's good to know someone who knows that difference. And it's nice is that when the market shifts, if you are open to it as an investor to unfurnish or furnish and stuff and move, you stay with the times and everything.
Oh, and you've been doing this for how long? 20?
Down here in Florida for like 10 years and stuff, like professionally for other people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah. As for other people since I got my broker license and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that is great insider knowledge, and people are lucky to have you.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about some of your early pivots. Nothing goes according to plan in real estate and real estate investing. So do you have any tales from the trenches?
we have tons of tales from the trenches. I mean, every time it's kind of one of the things that you have to either accept or love about property management is that any day is never the same. So, and like, we've gotten to a point that it's like, okay, that's a new one. Like, what do we do there and stuff? A really good one is, this happened a couple of years ago. We had a family move out of one of the homes and they were on their way and they're about 12 hours away, and they call us and they said that they just went to go check on their pet snake, and the snake is not in the snake thing, and the snake might be in the house. So, but they're just going to keep going, and that, you could just take care of the snake and stuff like it. Keep it, actually. And that was what they said.
So the snake is now your problem.
Yes. And I have new renters moving in tomorrow.
So don't leave us hanging. What happened with the snake?
We went snake hunting. We had to find the snake and everything like that. Like, it was a domicile snake, so it really wasn't like it wasn't predatory and stuff like that and everything. And we found it like rolled up in the corner of the pantry and stuff and everything. But it was still a snake that we had to go remove from a house and stuff that it was like, when did this happen? Why do we have these crazy things?
Okay, so every day is different and unique. That keeps things fresh. And so as you're building over the years, you're building multiple businesses, you're building them under one umbrella. How do the pieces all work together? Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So we kind of consider our leasing and management our biggest draw or asset, because that's where I stand out with the most experience and the most knowledge. And then from there, we've got, let's say, 100 rentals, and then we've got at least 100 renters throughout the year, and some of them are furnished, so they'll have 3 to 4 different groups of renters that are in there who like the area and are staying for at least a month. And then
100, at least 100 people.
Yep.
Like the area, you're the expert, and then you are going to explain why it is more cost effective to
purchase themselves. Exactly. Then my buying and selling team warms themselves up to them as we're getting to know them on the leasing and management side, and says, we would really love to help you with your own home ownership, or in the same thing, I'm keeping the close relationships with the owners to make sure that if there was a point that they wanted to sell and either 1031 exchange or something, so that we would be their choice for that as well. And then the renter buys the home and moves out. We get a new renter that comes in. The whole process changes. And we've actually had about 5% of our owners were renters first.
Yeah.
And the reason why they chose us was because of the service we gave to them as renters. And they're saying the reason why we're picking your company is how good you are to the renting side of it. And also, I actually had someone who I sat down, and he left and he took the key with him, and there was supposed to be a family moving in the next day, and they had a young girl that was going to be sleeping there, and he was giving me a hard time about the fact that he's like, I'm out of the state, and I'm like, and I still need to charge you because there is no way that I'm putting a family in there while there's a random key out there, and I know stuff and the liabilities there. And we charged him, and and he had to ship the key back overnight and stuff like that. And we got the family in. Well, they came back to us and hired us. And he goes, because you were absolutely right. You were absolutely right about how you stood with me and stuff like that. So because you were hard on me and I messed up, he's like, that's the type of person I want representing my property.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love how that all works together. And you hear horror stories about property management companies
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that your property management company is really the front of the house for
Yes.
everything that's going on. So your property management company has to be excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Or yes. Agreed.
Because it's just the
That's
front
where it
door.
kind of all starts, right? It all trickles down from there in terms of the selling and the buying. And then we'd have nothing to clean or maintain or fix or do anything in the cleaning and
Right.
handling. Or we'd have to be doing it for private people and quoting and doing all that stuff rather than we already know what the measurements of the house is and stuff. So we can quote the paint without even going to the house. We know how much it's going to cost.
So good. Okay, so let's talk about where you are now. What's your current portfolio mix? Do you have residential and commercial properties or just residential?
So just residential is what we do. Privately owned residential is what we do. We do 1 month minimums, which in Florida is considered midterm or longer. So we'll do midterm or longer. And we really don't classify it into short-term, midterm, or long-term. We classify it into furnished or unfurnished. So unfurnished would almost always mean long-term. People are not going to sit there and want to, bring in all their furniture and unload and unpack and settle in for a short-term rental.
Right.
So almost always that equals unfurnished almost always equals long-term. But the short-term, there are some people in Florida that will rent for a whole year, 2 years and stuff with someone else's house that's completely furnished and everything like that, or their condo and everything, and be perfectly fine and then be a nomad and move along that's just kind of like their lifestyle and everything. So.
And Florida's the perfect place to do that. I have really wanted to go to Florida this last couple of weeks, especially here in Michigan. Okay, so this is just such a huge opportunity for anybody that watches this now or on demand later, because now you know Pamela, you know her standards, you know where she is, you know that she can help you find an investment property and then take care of it for you. And she has every reason to. I mean, she would take excellent care of it because she is who she is anyway, but it's part of a whole system that keeps the Suncoast Cooperative going.
Yeah. And then you're dealing with, you don't have to worry about who's my realtor, who's my this and stuff like that. It's all one family. We're all here. Right. We're all gotcha.
That is a huge opportunity. So Steve has been putting your email address up underneath you as you're talking. So if anybody is interested in that, and Pamela's in Sarasota, and then how far would you go out?
So we do Manatee County and Sarasota County. So those are the two counties just south of St. Pete and Tampa. So those are there. So those would be where we're at, most of it.
Okay. So you could buy yourself an investment property. You could go, maybe stay there, maybe not, but she would handle the whole thing for you and make sure that your leases are.
Yeah. A lot of people from your area, what they're doing is they're buying their retirement home a few years ahead at these prices, having renters pay that down. We're managing it while it's going on. And then when it's time to move in, they're moving in, which is funny because every time that has come to that, they end up not moving into that one because we're making them so much money on that property that they can afford something nicer, bigger, whatever and stuff and everything. So not a single person has ever actually moved into one of the properties that we started managing for them, even though that was completely their intention when they started. So, yep.
I have the perfect person right now that I need to send your way. I've been telling her, I think that you're closer than you think to be able to do this. And she just keeps kind of laughing me off, but I think she's closer than she thinks. So she will be hearing from me. Okay. So there is opportunity right now for people. What are you building next? What's your vision for the next 12 to 24 months?
We just nothing more new right now and stuff in the next 12 to 24. This is a good where we are. We accelerated a lot faster than we anticipated right after COVID in this area. So we had a lot of, we pedaled to the metal for a lot of things, and we're up, and then, so we're kind of catching up to that and stuff. Same thing with pricing and things like that around here. So 12 to 24 months is kind of just getting the systems down a little better, get flowing a little bit more, bringing more properties in, refining our systems and stuff, but more of the same good stuff, I think, and everything. Nothing, we're not adding another logo just yet.
What's the next logo? Do we need a new shirt? Okay. So where can people follow you? Direct them wherever you'd like.
Sure. Suncoast Leasing and Management on Facebook, Suncoast Buying and Selling Team, Pamela Parrino on Facebook. I think I'm on Instagram and also on LinkedIn and everything. I honestly have a social media manager and stuff. So like there's all those things that get posted. Someone else handles that on our team for us and everything. So, but it's good, because if I was posting it, it would not look good. That's not where my zone of genius is and everything. So, yeah.
Well, and you have system, you have, multiple systems, you've got multiple teams, and you are building an empire. And we have known each other for years, and I've always been curious about how everything works together, and we've talked about it in bits and pieces, but we've never had a chance to do this eye to eye in person. Now I have it, and I can share it with people, because I do share your story with people, especially people in Michigan that want to buy in Florida. In your area for sure. And now I have something I can just send them and say, watch this.
Absolutely.
Watch this first, and then book your meeting. I will connect you. So there's opportunity. You know how to get a hold of Pamela. Think outside the box. Think down the road. I love, Pamela, you saying that by the time people actually do retire and get here, they don't want to get rid of that asset, because it is printing money for them, money machine, and they want to do something else because they can afford to.
Yep. Yeah.
That is huge. So get a hold of Pamela. I'm happy to connect you as well. Pamela, thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday, Eve. I'll cheers you with my green drink here.
That's it. Cheers. I had mine earlier.
All right. Well, love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Bye, everyone.
Good night.